ono nete ho onim se de esi ko ye yo betimi a kire mu ye na ko ye ni nyina nkran sa no a emwa emma wo manfo no ani posi ani titiru nsantrofo enkita hodie enwie payo enkita hodie ne nso ene ma posi dwumadie no etumi ewie payo ne ko wano papa eboa nti wayi sa nhye no afire ho.
It is important to know that policing is not merely a profession but a significant responsibility that demands accountability to the public. We acknowledge that no society can effectively combat crime without the trust and collaboration of its people. This is why effective policing is a partnership, one that requires officers to work closely with the communities they serve to foster a safer and crime-free environment. I must also emphasize that this collaboration extends beyond crime fighting. It involves the development of robust interpersonal skills, requiring constant reassessment of our police public relations frameworks to adapt to changing circumstances. In times when the public demands greater involvement and accountability in our service delivery, a well-tested approach ensures police legitimacy and builds public confidence.
Yo, COP Christian Tete Yohunu, new IGP, Nene Atina, Posi for no Kasa, no Asrum Sadauroma, won't tetepaya on Koji Yanua, and a wonum fan concoye, Edumatiru, 1 year in Central 4. Ebedinki town, 1 in Central 4, Becca Sadiama, Posi Jumako Piaro Sono, and in Central 4, Edin Como, Edinki town, Fancy Bian Motin, and Fantity Apa, near Quasibruni, Wakano professionalism, no, and yet Ejuma.
Over the years, it is important to know that policing is not merely a profession but a significant responsibility that demands accountability to the public. We acknowledge that be intentional, professional, and instructive, strictly aligned with police directives, particularly Service Instructions Number 7 SI 7, which provides clearly the guidelines for this engagement. As police public affairs officers, we are responsible for managing the relationship between the service and the media, always guided by the core values and ethical standards of the Ghana Police Service. My 3 pillars to you going forward include: 1. It is our responsibility to protect the confidentiality and integrity of sensitive information while balancing this duty with the need to remain as open and transparent as possible.
Yo, nti IGP for COP Christian Tete Yohunu ana yete ninsemi biedi kan de maamo ya kan kasemu ansa na de kobro for kasemu.
Ya to so e won sanfufuro mu Ahmed Swale ye nyina ya beka ye oyensentroni a emfie mpino ni dunkru 2019 ni mu no obi ebo nutuoku no Madina mpatamu ho won kan pumpuni mantama ho nsam de enye be ye pinso e mamanfo tete ne sre ne abasa na amane ayensa ka kire ma dani owusu kranten ya mpanimfo ache no na wo Madina court enra akwadi ni kogina ho a omo chemu kura woton Ahmed Swale picture ananimfo nyini ma eye Canada Japan ene ne ekeka ho be chemu se nte saa ne ho nsaba ye de na kwa remand se proof da no first April won samra no abusua o mabusua ni ene Ahmed Swale chemu a we no eyen kranhyesem esan so no monim sa asem na ye fode te se bola suja esan sa ye kan emfie bensi ani enso ho asem bia ni ho na aba bontia asa ye kan asa ye nka na emomo no de kwa so na enu ho na awatwe mu no amomanya ni daso se de tie bia omo bepe ye justice ana tentene ne ama Ahmed Swale na we mpokra no anya abusua no kwa no mani aje wo sense ntrofo so ani gie esan so bi mo ho mo ye adwuma intimidation pa na ekoso ewumu we chese obi ye obani a emra ani ni bedi
de nti e ma ye de dwumadie e ba ha ne se ye hwe ahokeka ewo facility hospitals ni mu municipal ni mu no facilities a ewo mu no ye wo ehwe omo wo hawo wan wo hwe omo chip compound ya sebe enye baabi a esenka ombegya yarehwe nti na esi ye behwe ne ye toto adwene ne ye ne mpanfo susu adwene ne ye hwe mwa ye betumi abo om no matumi apagya mu na ehaw bia ewo om ho no nti ama ye ba omonye health insurance no omo ka kire yen ene mo TB
abusafo mo fanche ese Mustafa Idrisu ya onu ye kasamafo ma ameswale abusua no ene no enye no na ye boye muntie ene na wode abetu edwa.
In fact, we knew that the police kept on telling us that they were investigating. So that is why I said that we believe that nothing was happening, because we wanted to get concrete information from the police about the case. For about a year now, we weren't hearing anything from the police until this particular arrest was made some 4 or 5 days ago. And then we got an information, and then the police started inviting us again. As of last year, our hopes were measured. But now our hopes are, we have that confidence that this is coming up, and we are hoping that the best is going to come out.
Where Mustafa Idrisu ya wonu ya kasama former Ahmed Swale ebusua
na akani dom kwabenya abato mpesua so numra se dwane Maame Sara Adwo Asafo eja enfuturo ni nyina adwo kwasi brumba se the dust has settled dia feina eja wonam na wo kan nsem kire ni se mukai mere bia atwa mu usuna me yo usuna me ya no obonyum ni ade alumba nyum bra na MPP amanyo kom ra se odwafo mu hia no papa mra se odwafim na wo amanone mu nsem ye bebre ni ade saa no anka hwe ye to abawie ya MPP awe potoi fe na eja wafra se ya wono so wo kire ni nsemu na wo se asemba ko ha no pa ese wo pese wo kire magana fo hunu ene sobua NPP for the board no ema ebinum kura tumi eko mampani na nado danko akufu ado okura ko ka kire nsan saatama yato abawie ye na ye speaker of parliament na NPP for person ora Professor Makokwe na enya no Adwo Asafo to aba edema ora abamba ben wo se enya no kura da atoronko a na se wono wo kire woni a wonu to aba no NPP mrase odwafo no a wonu to abanditi a Professor Eroma Akokwe na omuto de ma ora bamba bena kire Ghana da ni butu wose nkrofo bi ya omtutu aba no nya agrokra wono 120 ya Professor Eroma Akokwe oto abande ma ora Makokwe ena afi ni esi ya kura kire nam abato no zamoka ya ora Carlos Hussein ahinkra boat Carlos ahinkra ko GP person bi ya this speed is so mu dibi wura nanumu ne bi wibie ni ade o se ekoba asante kura no aba no mutu ye no ankasa no enya no no kan ye e de kire de wanya speaker of parliament ne mom ne aboto ka se kan consensus no ye se omu panifo no no mkotra se de aya ne de mom ya ni a yemfa ya adwen ye kan mom na ye nyintum ne yemfa maba ko ntinya aba ne so kura no mu gina ya omu de eye ye wura ba speaker of parliament
sidane ekoya Adwo Asafo no okotuti awokwe ema abagben baaye na no ne yaka metuma no mentu anka menko am person me push over omubru tu omubua na enye tu udu baabi om se 1 omdu baabi 2 ntia obi tutu kan Adwo Asafo no omokotuti aye na enkofu ekotuti aye na ebru na omo be kan sam kire yen leaders no se monko yeto monkra na monko kan kire nanano na ni enim nkofu no mafasa adwen no and they did exactly what they wanted to do.
Yo, Maame Sara Adwo Asafo ana Martin Nkanyonti wa sha ase ya wono so wo kire ni nsemu woni e bo ne so bo ne ade no ene free juada ne ba de nse wo koto explanation to na mu a wo kire nsemu pa
yo yantwa so wa nsam fufuro mu na ni nyina no anase wo manfo ebeka ya enre ya ene betu adwasa anka ne Bank of Ghana governor ana opani anu wo hwesi kakrabia kase ye wo mamu so Dr. Ernest Addison ni fie national security for ho ekodi dwuma ya te said omo ye kaneto for wi atafie ya 11 February na bi ena enu akro na nsentro ni ye fra no katache free famensa enso ye so omo koche no omo se agile no sansen sam na ama wo kwamra hye bedwa fie mu a de odadom kuma no ano ya minority leader Honorable Alexander Afenyo Marken abechemu se we no asa ya amanyose mu apopo bi sa ene ho eye atemu ne pese ye de ma wo mo ene ho nsema enam so ama deputy presidential spokesperson ana ko mampani aso ya kasa mafo abedi achiwe eye Shamima Muslim osinya sa na tie national security for no mu yi wo madwuma e kan hwehwe mu ahodro ya wo mo ye eho nti we no bi ndimi nkasa ya popo ene obi epese odi popo wo mo e kan hwehwe mu wo mo ye epe ho adanse edi dwuma.
Sisi John Dramani Mahama is a leader with conscience. At all times, he wishes to shepherd this nation with little chaos and with little distraction as much as is humanly possible. There will be times that maybe in the execution of some, due process, there might be some missteps. We are not a party to not recognize when mistakes are made and redress them. But what we can tell the general public is that there's really a new heart to leadership, a heart that is very in tune with the people that it's leading, and a heart that wants the best for this nation and wants to, lead a nation that is fair and just and equitable to all Ghanaians, even those that may be found on the wrong side of the law. Because even convicted criminals have rights that must always be respected and enforced. And so you would not have the person of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to seem to be flagrantly abusing rights of citizens.
Auntie, omanfo no enye omo right ena mampani ebeso tietia so omo fa ahodie ene ne ekeka ho eso na emomo no eye adwuma na national security for ne ye mra kwan so ena ehwehwemu nso so ena omo eye Shamima Muslim ya oye deputy presidential spokesperson ne sama wakan ni bi eno no
yo na eno na abando ya pani abedi akire deputy attorney general Dr. Justice Srim say wakasa and watch us say enkrofo afia wurawura ya national security for wurawura ne ade ende o se amra kwanso wo se nyane kwanso akwano tum na ne akoso ni nyina no na emra ema wonum kwan ya emra mu no chidom bia wo so munya bia no onum nyansa na wonum eko na said ye nyina nim owura kan foriata enche ene yete se nkrofo national security for akoni fie no achi Dr. Ernest Addison so nkra de enawie minority no ade krono aba abeto national security operatives ne so se onum call Dr. Ernest Addison fum first kabotene ye mpemudu wo pipidu ana etonche ne aneyire nsumade ne nkomade ne nkawa giwari nso yo masesa no do so podie minority se omunya huna no nti national security for jere so makobokro no sana minority for ne kan no ana deputy attorney general kire se woni a national security for ko mu fie nyina no ye woni a aban ni susu se onuma ba oman ne kro no asese oman ni sika aguonu botom ene yeti so ahwehwe yaade ne yaage yaade enu nti kwa wonum ko ya na ba bi o ma nyina no na empanifo na de onum sa ase asoma wonum se wonum ko ya sansen ansa na wonum kro
by concerns are on two sides. There are a group of people who believe that the AG is actually being aggressive. Last night there were some complaints, searches conducted in some homes, and the views are divided. But I would like to assure the public that we are as much as we can pursuing persons who I believe or are suspected to have looted, state assets, being money or other properties. We are committed, and work is going on for that to be done. Most importantly, we are also doing so within the framework of rule of law.
Aban no hye bia wo so fam bia aban ya na adwen so obefa nyinam na nhwemu ado ya wo se koso ne afei ye kwa adubo woni o se tutu onuma no ene ade obehwe se ni nyina mra kwan mu no krokra ho mo ha obedi hye ni nyina so pepepepepepe no kirem se nyame anim ya no oman mu no kra ye kro no kata hye pro ye kankan ko asenie che papa twentwen ne na se esa na wa kra wa toba ha na waye boho se kontomire ya akanjani ade na wabam kura ya apa ba na enso ni nyina mu no aban bebo moten no ahwe se ensam ya wode be kwa se ni bia so bo ye ode be bo nyina no emu oden pampe pa se banua
Concerns are, as you may know, there have been instances in the past where persons who are suspected have been treated, have been arrested in manners that don't comply with the rule of law, where violation of human rights and other laws have been broken just because people are suspected. We've also witnessed instances where people have been put on trial for years without any evidence and without any conviction, without any trial. And they wake up, go to court, and they are just spending money on lawyers. We are determined, and when I say we, I mean my boss, the Attorney General. He is of the view, his policy is that he will not put anyone before any court without having sufficient evidence to prosecute the person. So the reason for the delay we are seeing, or what most of the public are seeing as delay, is that we are making sure that we get the right, we get the evidence before we put someone. We are not in the business, or we will not be in the business of putting people before the court and now seeking permission to go and now look for the evidence. At least we must have what we call sufficient evidence to be able to put on lawyers. We are determined, and when I say we, I mean my boss, the Attorney General. He is of the view, his policy is that he will not put anyone before any court without having sufficient evidence to prosecute.
Aban do ya pani abedi akire Deputy Attorney General ana yete ne nkan ya Dr. Justice Srim Sai nene enono
Ghana mpanimfo and Abekwana Youth Employment Agency here for and Ghana European Center and European Labour Institutions for and akomo ho aboma se say die mpanimfo pantoma eye work abroad program no hono o ma hyase ni Romania for ato kese e wo sa dwumadie ne hyehyeye kwan no eso and so mo mu kitansa no dwumaye skilled workers no akwanya aba ese obetumi akwa Romania na wakoye adwuma the Chief Executive Officer Emma Youth Employment Agency eye Malik Basintale na oche mu se we yade e bebo pa magana fo mo won sa no dwuma no akonya suahunu bebre ewo eyama no mo sa de abebo o man sikasem.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on this journey, we are also conscious of the concerns regarding brain drain. And the last time I was having a conversation with a friend, I was wondering why anytime you have the Europeans trooping into the country, they don't term it as brain drain. But anytime Ghanaians are going out, we term it as brain drain. And maybe we've had many brains drained through Chinese import into this country. But the truth of the matter is that all labor from the international community are well structured and they troop into our country in a well structured form. And that is why the YEA is instituting a comprehensive reintegration and community impact program that will ensure that when our workers go, they shall return home.
Nipa yati ni ya Malik Basintale onu ya Chief Executive Officer ewo Youth Employment Agency.
Yegusu a promise 102.7 any promise television so nyumre no nsiaka se na asua ya ehwe aban no enkomo bonsem so Government Communications Ministry the order no any odonya for Felix kwachofusu akomesika ya enche ye akinka no mrache dwafie mu ene na tena ye no ye twa sika no o manga na esi di no o pepe edioson wotwe 78 million Ghana cedis ene ye diama na tena ye no ya obebo amane ne aban ye nie hyehye ya amampani wo ye nie wapa obi foforo so onye sei na eniemebu no a obekirekire mu ama Ghana fo ate ne ade no wase akomesika edema no afe no asoye ya 78 million Ghana cedis enso isa.
Speaker, it is also false for anybody to say, and this is a house of records, so I wish to place it on record, that my office has not been given 78 million Ghana cedis. There are three agencies that I superintend, namely the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the Information Service Department, and the Ghana News Agency. These three agencies alone have 2,537 civil servants. And it is these civil servants who have been allocated 78 million Ghana cedis in both goods and services. Mr. Speaker, it is woefully inadequate for them because the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation alone needs 36 million Ghana cedis to establish a presence in the 6 regions that they created. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation alone needs 37 million Ghana cedis to establish a presence in the 6 regions that they created. And yet, all 3 agencies are sharing 78 million Ghana cedis. So it is a complete untruth for anybody to say that I have been allocated 78 million Ghana cedis.
Ononya for Felix, Kwati Ofosu, Minister for Government Communications, watch say, Numeku Eshen was here, the Obon Numeku Miensa, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, of Information Service Department, Ghana News Agency, Onum National say, Tisasi Kanwa, Yachadi Amano, Senako Mesikado. It's a papa.
Any abrepa. Here they come home. And a GBC, Information Service. Yeah, quite sense out. My shebe Jenny or a Reverend in Team Fodjo. And the watcher was at Mampani Mahama Nanka. Once I said Dr. Georgia Kufi Dampare, IGP, and Kanaya Pa. Was no crown cray can. Dr. Kufi Dampare, no year Juma. Pa na adwuma so ani tinka wo so wo ho no wo to na adwuma no so na wo ye adwuma na nwanwa sa mampani esesem mo sanza na adwuma ye de ye ka enko yobi a na esombo na so ani.
Dr. Ekufu Dampare, however people may have whatever assessment they may have of him, objectively looking in the Fourth Republic, you will come across as one of the highest performing IGPs we've had. What are the main KPIs? We look at the statistics on crime rates. We look at police visibility. We look at perception of the public of the police system. We look at sanctity and discipline within the ranks. But he scores very high. See how he sanitized the headquarters of the. All of a sudden there was order, and you would, if you have not been there for a while, you would not believe that you are at the head office of the Ghana Police Service. That the very day he was removed, see the chaos that erupted, which is most regrettable. And so for me, that jubilation was needless, because when people have said, our TISA group was a global organization, Global Peace Index, many organizations, they ranked Ghana 2024 as the second most peaceful country in Africa. And in terms of crime rates globally, they rank Ghana more favorably ahead of Australia and Canada. And so if you have an IGP who have been able to, among other things, bring us to this point, there will definitely be some shortfalls here and there. But largely, he deserves some credit. So if a new president has come, I would have wished he continues with him.
Reverend Tim Fodjo asam no waka sano eno was mampani dada Akufado ono nya de oba ye cheso was san ne mpanimfo ni nyina etwato so sa wo mo ho no wo hwe e ma de wo so wo ye na adwuma etumi eye. When
President Akufado took over in 2017 January 7th, the Chief of Defense Staff then was Mr. Samson Oji, who was a Vice Marshal, and Chief of Staff at the time Major General Adeti. Those were the only 2 changes he made. And on record, when he changed them, he did not sweep across the entire brass of top commands. He did not sack or dismiss all 2-star generals, major generals and equivalent, lieutenant generals and equivalent. He ensured that the most senior among the commands that he had come to meet was one that he appointed to replace the outgoing Chief of Defense Staff. So Major General Aqua at the time, he was the Chief of Army Staff, as we say, Army Commander. And he was appointed by President Mahama. But that was the general that President Akufo-Addo promoted to become the Chief of Defense Staff. He didn't sack everybody appointed by President Mahama, every general, every commandant. He didn't sack everyone to recreate new ranks and new generals for himself. And then when he promoted Major General Aqua at the time as the Army Commander, the replacement he found for the Army Commander was one of the most senior among the generals, General Ayamdo at the time, if you remember. So General Ayamdo was the one who became the Army Commander. He didn't touch the Chief of Navy. He didn't touch Chief of Air Force, for instance. They all were maintained and served to their full term. They have 3 years term that.
And yeah, you say South, Mashabe Jenny, Reverend Intim Fodjo.
Egu kasianso a promise 102.7 FM promise television so ya numere ya de eso mo achichi ani pinche mu a na akane Exim Bank penia na wadano anase na eyere dia former CEO They say one day Brazil you need the moment for one Himan danger and a from Himan lower danger. Ononya for Lawrence Ajinsem one day say na was one day at this radio no de master for finance minister say and now Jibiabo Wamanga Muno hotel bills no any fees charges no ano den papa one was robo na den it is was it 24-hour economy omo moden na onye sesema hotel ahodo bo a wonum agie no wonum tete so mra from free say wo bebre ya wo mpeso mba kwansra wo manga na mu no wo ba ba bi odin ti beto hotel di obeda ko iso obekọ ne ade ne bo nko akora no etimi bududu no abem na wonum ya atwe asan 24-hour economy omuka so wo so kan ne nka charge free hotel de for so won di anopa wi anwumre ne anajo won si wo sa asenkrofo ba ni oni ewura mu apia ko oni awodum da ma ade ache di se ne 24-hour economy opese ya adwuma pa dia hotel bo won tete so na intimi mwa
ukoda Ghana hotel bia be $100, $200, $400 nimpa de betwa tickets and until now back for any akufo the time no even airport tax you trim because sa airport tax no e be can cost of ticket abeta e ma o bankana in Ghana which was previously a destination above until said another down day a year the year of return and buy na conform ha amafo eko Dubai Mauritius Seychelles because okowa hotel na the boy dey here for it is a 1% levy on tourism development no like a home here say about it because I know and I mean about 24-hour economy no because hotels 24 hours restaurant may 24 hours watchman at the with 24 hours reception at all with 24 hours and no a bit with conferences. Ghana was the hub for conferences time at Ivory Coast and to Kwasi it said the external factors to say cool a cost of West Africa and more Ghana but Ghana say Mampeni Eko Burkina Faso I don't know.
Ana wo sere abansa da woro momo moten na ankrankra nyumakuo private companies wonso onuma senemu wa wonum pa monum nyine na afei emwa ma mabura enya nyuma nye bebere wo manga na mu na dodo no anamba bankere no enyuma mu so na onum nya benye
one day one factory yeni exam for yeni yeboa no pharmaceuticals one count now you produce infusion Ghana, Atlantic Life Science, me boy. All the pharmaceutical companies do na wukrumano. E munai enyesika efi excel. NDC4 and I'm saying become new creative in 2016. Let me call 2017. No, my pharmaceutical company pay $40 million. Yes, your corner, your pharmaceutical company over $60 million. And it's not covered by no hand sanitizer. Linear. Adeba kwa me catch Ghana for linear. Okay? Adepam moy. In the and I'm saying ya she made in Ghana at the NT. Obi aso your fashion designer. And kaso bia a tailor bill. And a Juma Cassia. Okay, your company be a fellow DTRT. Minokasi, Amopam Aquaman America. Omunya $2 million. Adepam Adeba, sure also auto machines. Now found for time as a no more workers 1,500. Minokasi, they have workers over 4,500. And we're gonna
wayam rase jani de mo manfo a wonum wo Himan danger na afo from Himan lower danger nene ene yeti yi
yankwa amanse South Mansi mo wasante mantem mu mansu tontokrom zongo for chairman ya wo ho Ibrahim Harona wose wo besere no wasere be ofri na komam heartfelt play pa no de ma emabunu ye wo man Ghana mu se di o man ani da so ya san enu boni nu mu ni o so obesre anya so man ne da ache na die ye nya ni da so papa bia wo ho o se hu hia kra obesre mabunu so mo ne ye do mbe chechire o man no da ache bi wo so mo so chechire de tu nchiri ma ho nti so mo de sa bra boni we pa se nu boni nom ene nsa bro ne ma nsa mfata ene bebo mo bra dia na che so ma begu o man nanu ma se kra o man na mo bra e wo kwan bia so nti obesre o ye babuna mo ani mere nwomasua wa ankasa wa bra bomu no primpum tuo e ma wo ho na abrikọ no so society ana mpatamu a wote e wo man mu no primpum tuo e ma o man no na wunya baby page na e beboa ma wa wontoto ye ne niam nyina atumi akoyie ama wo ene wo san asesa ahohyeso enso behia sa abri pa yonko sam ne niam a den sabro ne nubone no mabani nyina no e mabro ne ntwe won hu firi ho na niam we kura ekokọ so ama bebra adwen so kura ese
omo fa ndi agoro adro bi na e ba ya esaye mrantie no sere wo mo a wo ntwe wo ho firi mo ntwe wo ho firi adobode na mrantie no enom no e be duru mre bi no na wa nkasa no wonde wo ho mo ntwe mo ho firi ho na mo som nyame awo sompam atembo na nyankopon makofa katuapa nanti ye wo fo no ye wo mo wo ye ma ye beto se som no wo ho na ye so ye de akire ana ye som eti na mo hwe mo ho yie na Ghana ensesa na abase nkasa brofo se ya wura mu aye bosome bi a ehirawo mpa enuam bosomufo mba na mpanimfo na ayi nkora nyina Islam ni na se bosome we mu na wo se wo kai akwete se wo moja na wo ankasa wo honam na wo de bo fode atemoda Nyankopon so bekoko wo mobo nti eduanom musulmi fode yesre obia oba obemba wa kwara mbrantie special mbrantie no sese no omompe nyamesom no omompe nyamefre womo hwe na omomfa omompo omonjai wiase abrabo bia abrabo fono na omomfa womo ho ehye nkramom anase som no da bi beba dipa dasani na wo ho na kira wo ni ho
zongo for chairman ya o man su tonto krom amanse South Mensimu Ibrahim Haruna eneneti
na Justice Jones Doche brebi atwamu Supreme Court na oye atemuafo de ba ko ise o na umijim retired Justice of the Supreme Court one na ka say no kiremu a sa eye Consumer Protection Bill no abesi sa bre da honom ne anya ya adwen se ye de komrasio dwafia mamrasio dwafo age atom na aba beboa ye mra na wo manfo aboa ya abo ho ban ne ade no ha adwen papa wo se ye ntimi ntwan biem sa nhye no Consumer Protection Bill no ebradu se afi ye bo moden na nki tibi hwe ne age tom na no ye emra ba beboa wo manfo ye ne eja bia ye kọ aban nwumakuo emu na wonum esom yen se bi kura ya sabia na okọ ECG form no office ni ade omuma ye osoma hodo ani ade ani abrabo je se sa asetra ne ntoto ye tete sa ni ade ni afi ni amakura ye to yese bia edisika eto aka ni ade ye ni ayeto atofo no ba beboa ye infrise obu onum kura na anu mi koto ayi bofrutu maami oti bofrutu na me kwa na mso media ya na mempe de ahye no se entimi nkoto ntwena na asom no na mso so bia ne de ope me mempe de ahye bi obi so be ope maami se da wanya ache awie ni nko ade menye by force na eje ode she me kon ti sa amra we num no na waji sika
na so kitosi na fana de ma no
wasu wa yewie ana meje ye so enti sa amra iba beboa pa bu on mo awokọ ade wo mpe no na no ana by force ye de aba wie nso abetua ka emfa ncho ne ade no se ade ache adura chiri papa se ne sa amra no ye nyin tumu na nsem ye odi tudwa ye World Consumer Rights Day na wonum sign agent so a launch Ghana Consumer Report 2025 won kan popri man kropon enkramu yentia
the first collaborating spirit. As a retired judge of the Supreme Court, I've spent decades upholding the rule of law and safeguarding the rights of Ghanaians. Today, I see consumer rights as an extension of that issue, a fundamental pillar of justice that touches every household, every business, and every community. In a real sense, all life is interrelated because, for example, the ECG managing director consumes data from MTN and also uses water, for example. MTN CEO requires water from Ghana Water Company and silver rules to grant all. The bank manager needs a stable electricity supply to function as well as adequate and portable water. Whether you are a service provider or a regulator, the least common denominator is that we are all consumers of each other's products or services. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a hope that the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Agribusiness and Government will heed this call and pass the long overdue consumer protection law this year. Such a law will provide a unified framework to protect consumers, bridge regulatory gap, and empower citizens to demand accountability from service providers. The absence of this legislation remains a glaring void in our legal system, and this enactment is a step we can no longer debate. In closing, reaffirm that this law is not an end but a beginning. The evidence before us, painstakingly gathered and meticulously analyzed, offers a roadmap for reform. It challenges us to build a Ghana where every consumer is informed, empowered, and respected.
That are the most standards our Ministry of Trade and Industry. Also, the Accra Tuja, Patricia Boating Bano. Nenza Kakra di Tuja Yentibia.
A consumer should be able to purchase any product or place or toy confidently without any doubt about the performance. Protection law is passed, and the report by CAC National gives a fresh impetus to move forward the agenda of the We learned that the report spans 8 critical sectors, namely telecommunications, safety, e-commerce, banking, electricity, water, waste management, and aviation. Fragmented regulations across sectors create gap in enforcement, leaving consumers to bear the burden of poor services, limited awareness, and inadequate redress mechanisms.
Yo, enti Maame Patricia Boating Bano. Kakra no so di tuja ewe hyiamudie no ase na yete yi.
Yeah, kwa Western North Region is so municipal. Na Health Insurance Directorate, yeah, wo hono mo no. Na aye dwumadie bia wo dwumadie no efa health insurance card no kwa amanfo be register ho enchechire ne ho ntete ye dwumadie na wo de ye bedwa mu kasa kire no. Na na so municipal manager ma wo mo ye Madam Comfort na ya apia. Na wo che mu se no kure ni munie. Ensanka ye bi wo ho a eden. Over health insurance or facilities and I can't any near more what did you mujuma and sunny into people who are young so much anything na health insurance and or make who be into a best lesson penny for and who be na health insurance and or more no more any yarn eboa ama pomide ma panso atimi akoso e wo manfo asetenemu na edwabo no ekoso nkonya ya eno e wo mansini no emu de nti e ma ye de dwumadie e ba ha ne se ye hwe ahokeka ewo facility hospitals nimu municipal nimu no facilities a ewo mu no ye wo ehwe mo wo hawo wan wo hwe mo chip compound ya sebe enye baabi a esenka ombeje ayarehwe nti na esi ye behwe ne ye toto adwene ne mpanyfo susu adwene ne ye hwe mo a ye betumi abo mo no matumi apagam na ehaw bia ewo mo ho no nti amamu ye ba omunye health insurance no omuka kire yen enemu amu TB say amanfo feel say health insurance no kra wo yes kagigye nti ena omunye card no ese yen ye ba ne ye betumi administrify ye betumi eyi saa adwene ne fie omutim na ema omutumi enye gidie ene arehwemu eweyemu se na ebe ya ombetumi aye card no na adwuma no agina ne naso na yeso mukọ ayaresabia yetumi ahwe omu yi Madam Comfort Nana Yapia, ya wono, municipal manager, health insurance scheme, and our authority, a year, Sefios, municipal, and then you know. Now, Madam Safra Gabriel, ya midwife, Quenya, any abrabra, and also Chile, how near Manu, Mufum, Mujume DNA health insurance in Simu.
My challenges I face or abrabra, my Simo, and I say sub the streets, and say, any facilities I hear you may dino, and she die in your papa, a bill of one, a dino cracks, a womb, ceiling, a be a licky. Second challenge, so say, any network, or any sub the streets, the moon, would the year, I say, you soon network in a year, Juma. The network no emboy my enfanye juma. Any major challenges I face. Esre omo be philanthropist any yen crumpe for ni omo ambetumi aboy ni se mumbe boana yen apomodin aso aye no yesu ye betumi anya dan papa ye beti ye juma.
Madam Shefra Gavrel, ya midwife Nkwenya ni abrabra apomuden aso ye no wo ha wo no fam any health insurance ho nsensem e wona apomuden a wo de mo manfo ho ensem bi ene ete
ko yanim na dum so mu nsam kakra na ewura woni onyamfo Collins adoma ko ye o emra se dwane de mo manfo a wo no mo kwa abre fija kwa abre tifia batom be so ya kire fija kwa abre North MP ano ne swafo a ohwa wode ne ensem so energy minister ononyafo John Abdullahi Jinapo kasasa da woro momoten na titiru asante memu dum so bia yi ni titiru Kumasi Kurupon mu won kire kwani a wofa so na sa dum so no waso ano de enkura na de sa dum so no kura ba de pote no ha no na ekwan be no wofa so aso ano na afei asante memu Kurupon Kumasi atumi enyankane ebegina so said ye aban we babeto ye
John Jinapo. He says he went to Kumasi, and Mr. Speaker, I monitored him when he went to Kumasi. He visited two places. First, he went to the residency, and then he went to Menchia. These two places, Mr. Speaker, anytime there's light off, there's a standby generator to power those two places. If the minister had visited Swami, if the minister had visited Kegetia, if the minister had gone to Atinga Junction, if the minister had come to Efija Kwabre North, he would have realized that the power situation in Kumasi is one of the worst we are experiencing in decades. In Ashanti region, Mr. Speaker, the light comes on, goes off at 6 a.m., and it takes sometimes 14 hours before power is restored. Mr. Speaker, even the Ashanti regional minister himself, during the visit of the minister himself, had cause to complain about the power situation in Ashanti region.
Ononya for Collins Atomako. Vijako abre tifi abatombe asomra se dwani. No.
Wo mra she bedwa fie mu budget no ho debate any adwin se so ya adwin chekere no koso na osofo ankane no ho ya kwantempon ene ya kwan sam so ya MPP amamoyi be kwa wiye ya no ye osofo a wodi kan hwe osofo so wa hwe ye local government committee no enso eso ono ye bantama mra she bedwani honorable Francis Asenso Boache ene wo so wo besre adabaraka Mampani Mahama ene na ban Accra Kumasi highway ne die eye dualization ekwan abonta no enka wonye mo wondile kro ntwentwen so kra mampani nye na mo sika sam ntoto ye ne akobagi ho nsem waka se enipa be wo pipidu 10 million na etiminya emfaso e wo kwan so ndi sa ban ne ya ebeboa ma etifi ene anafo fam akobagi ho nsem atumi awie peye ena wo cheche mu ase de ka se faso ebi free amanfo aman so ene ne keka ho ni nyina ye sika ena erebra wo man no na nka kwanu mpo anka ne ye ka wacha wo so adon hwere miensa eye don hwere mienu ne fa ekwa miensa de na chese wodun se kra de don hwere num ekonsia na ada so gina kwan no so a wontimi mfiri nkran enu Kumasi ana Kumasi enu nkran ti obesre aban nya kwan tempo no ahon hare so ewo abonta kwan so
Accra Kumasi road. One of such projects is the economic corridor in the country. 10 million Ghanaians depend on this road for trade, for commerce, and daily life. The importance of this road can therefore not be overstated. And as a result, President Kufuor and his administration embarked on major intervention on this road. This intervention by President Kufuor and his administration reduced travel time from Accra to Kumasi from 6 to 7 hours to 2.5 hours. Yet, during the time of President Mills and President Mahama, between 2009 and 2016, not a single kilometer of dualization was added to the project. And as a result, travel time increased back from 2.5 hours to 5.5 hours. When President Kufuor assumed office, 4 major bypasses to continue with the dualization project was made.
Honorable Asanso Boache no ankane no na yo so afo hwe yakwan ene yakwantempon ensem so ne ne yate na so hono ma osase ebe ni sikase mon kan kro ne humpumtu a akra takra de kwantempon no enso hia pa ya mpanifo hwe no mun siese na kwansra ho nsem nyina so afo mo hode untimi enyim fim. Another project that is also worth considering that I'm urging the government to continue is the Accra Cape Coast Takrade Road. We know the economic potential of this road. In fact, Cape Coast, Elmina, Takrade, Azum is becoming the tourism centers of the country. The Nana Akufo-Addo has started a big one, the dualization of Kaswa-Winneba Road. The idea was to extend it to Takrade. It is important that the government prioritizes this road and extend it to Takrade and to Azim. Honorable Asanso Boache, Bantama Asanso Boache, and any ate no mampani, adodan quabres, no na yo so afo hwe yakwan, ene yakwantempon ensem so.
Yeah, amanyafo. Yeah, ko yanim. Na NPP sungoguru kwa amanyukuo no. Se yese ekuro ewu a dwawete. Nti yatu abani wiye afe na munsam epiepie ba ne ade a ene afe na mpanifo no bi kirekire no madwen kasafidi ado so ne course wo pa ene omu kansam na lawyer Justin Frimpong kodi a JFK NPP amanyokuo mamuni nyina wonum kirofo pani general secretary ana wode nkrata aba beto monte so nim se NPP amanyokuo mpanifo hu se ade bi koso entwa ye wo so mu hwe kasete ya na NPP amanyokuo no mabi enam kasafidi awodo so na omusi amanyoko no ntomagofi wo monten so nti ondi kokobonsam ba se efiri saa mere no ankrata na ba monten so ekro no wa onim na ne ha woni ade obekọ akoka na bonten kasafidi so na agi hwe ene ade no ene ye de obema amanyoko no atene ya badwaku ye kire disciplinary committee na krata onde ba yese ma obi anko radio so enko sansem nwo sa adwene ade no se menim se ma amesa adwasafo so tiyo senso se wantio yeso akwa akokasa ewo joy news so ya the post show na woko so wasa akokeka kansem ni biemu ani ade a ana onum se kokobo krata yi ba yansana wo se ko joy news akwa akokensam nti ni tintin onse kwase broni se ya refer no nti o ma horo no de ama disciplinary committee ai wonko yinsam ano odem sese ache no yo se so mo se ya bayanza no ko kan do odem se ni okwa no baby anonso ante Zongo police station side oni we fida dem na obi ase na dwenye eyi papa sa na ka eba bo na no atwa se medam zebra crossing. Abon or the zebra crossing. What they were proud and I have to so what. I was a fire track at the bonus summer.
a higher promise 102.7 and a promise TV na me na aka na that promise there dey be o say ye di nkomo eji kasa kire ni atenetene eni nyamesemu ehunhunumu ye kwa homa so ne Reverend Collins Kofi Bonsu wa principal e Purpose Discovery Foundation College PDF College ya e Edum Upper Road and now no Holy Calling Ministries or da no say leader and founder na yan komo ni nyina aja loose talk just asem bi e be free obi anu bia na wo kan ye hwe nyuma ye ni enu amon dofo no montam ye kru ne ye mpra no montam obi asem bia ba no obi kura timi kasa me manu me ho kura sa be fa obi say e ma ma fo nyana ne oho otan pa so na wo dwe aha just asem obi so kasa fo asem ko nzemunu na akeka ene ne etete sa loose talk e kwa be ye be fa so ye ba avoid ye be si ho kwa na ye mfa ye ho ewuwura mu Reverend Collins Bonsu Kaka Bonsu
Hello, Afia Nyarko Fafabi.
Madre.
Nsuwa.
Loose talk ne sama bobo bi na unso ebi nso ne de.
Odo peace.
Na se mamentia o hefo ya ibe o Promise TV na wana o ti o Promise. Obafia Atta Frimpong. Onse abrabo aye bu nyina no.
Hello, Counselor. Counselor Bonsu. Hello. Boshaba electricals. Electricals when your man in Kania be a whoop no. Brakumasi or Dumari party via bro Simon. Never pe a young Kania ni be a to. Open chandelier light, corner light. Aha, Counselor. Jan Somame. Jan Somame. Open Boshaban Kania bro your party TV and I promise TV bro Simon. Will doom. Boshaba Plaza and after 0536 095966. Counselor, yet you.
Yo, Midase. Number Kase. Also, life is built on relationships. Your vertical and horizontal relationship. Vertical, unipa, unyanko po, inkita udie. And horizontal, so yina, inkita udie, se, ukuno no wayere. Ejume gura, ene ejuma yefo. Se, yeah. Timamufu nyina no say ya dendan ho na me de try tna me say blaster gina akono that's anete
World Cup we qualifiers
send the bia no team no enyo ye nyina ya o ma bapa nti Mafia lose talk yese obi be gina be bi fa tan say kan say ka so Ghana e be say Mafia lose talk I don't know again any nasty to say. For the
I thought Omesha or Mecca.
But I want to say, under the principle of patriotism, King Price to me.
Now, when I said, Tim, how do you quay? And ya, not patriotism into the Abeshe.
And ya, yes, I was here where I said. So that may Oma Batanki support blaster and you come. But I want to make I say, Tinian, you best say at the TA. Okay, I lose stock. One way you Mafia, why are you a is who could house? That could be one. Me who are. And come on, one no was it, a loose stock. And nobody came back.
We don't want to
so yes, it is loose stock, yes, sir. When you be a Juma, and you are right, so the way I beg one Jumana, across one so was something then a Juma rock of fire was a young one of a Juma, being a dear lady. That's a loose stock. Sorry, Namia Safu. What I said, you will be on the donor who fear. It's a pocket no. Now, FBI, so I'm now sorry, to be and this. I feel what just for no, and then I saw the baby shower, Mammy, Papa, many of me who watch it, and we now watch them.
network no ya list councillor into vertical relationship was say ye ni nyamentem and a horizontal no ye ntem ye ho no eno no church the councillor say patriotism nti blaster match show mu ben kan say be share tete
ba blaster example no man ni pa de me obaku ma no say mo nyina ne kwa asore na sofu no preach no kraman ne ai akayeti aneti akonya ba ko so no say show nu ka chense you are wonderfully and fearfully made chance was sofu we dey mintimi twantro shakati ale kraman say sofu we dey mintimi twantro
counter.
Hello, Mafia.
After the what was
Mediasi. Answer the net. Ya can was him in I say. Casa ya di. Casa say adie. Na casa say adie. And I have to do loose stock. Come on, mema and fat home. Tell Ghana Blaster sitting near you, teaming you, yeah, or mine. And under the principle of patriotism. I see it to me. I do a support in the empire in our Blaster. Oh baby, now okay. Said the team is sitting the youngest stand for the say at a loose stock and the canoe. And they say,
I don't know so why we have panel my best say.
I will say I bet you can say. In fact, one way I know more bono or more what dance near dear. And to make a need yet.
Me pedials on best say.
Mafia.
Me patches so bet me akata so oh Ghana sha me pedian so ye be hwe me TV pa de.
Yes, I'm not your back.
Me hwe me TV pa de on be say.
Wo ka say on be say apia de. Na to say wa nyo ma papa. E say ya ka say loose stop.
Councillor Sabra on be say.
Aha.
You.
Ana. Me say am faton wo say a platform que is via that say na me as no say Ghana Blaster bobo sitting you. I say a bomb pie and your support team is a big qualify work up. And the other Casa, a year, Casa, the Casa say on the end and net, yeah, for here, tier 4, I didn't to say. I believe I only depending kita one up. Casa, you are free when no more. And the number and Fatona land, Cata said, drop with say. No be a Juma. A Juma, what the name? The oppressor, a Juma, and the front of Thursday. They the same mammy in the same mammy. That's the only I don't know what Juma now service for. One will be a Juma. Wait, my dear, you bet. A loose stop.
Councillor. Ebisa na councillor homa no hayen councillor watch yen nani so kakra ye be hwese ye betwa so brefufuru mu homa no enim wayen
stock networks in so ye lose stocks
abusa for how no man ye dey kase ye bono AC na Reverend Collins Bonsu principal Pepper Discovery Foundation College Dum Harper Road na ye ten nka ye sorry ama setina mu nkomo aba na obibi Korea na sell mu Jimmy Cliff your producer Oma ye no mobile studio your Papa Prissy and Joseph Amwate na ye quite several rooms so ye wo achi wo ho sly honom Kofi and Joe and MC Afonso ye da entwiwa any Christian Ben and Philip so ase ya be so mo ye me Maame Afia Nyarko papa bi na menu
Wofa Atta Frimpong yadoma ase ama monity ne hwe ye ko ye fia broni asetena mu nkomo ode ba abeto aso amae